Hello there, Ray here, and today I would like to show you guys my infinite regeneration station. This station is able to give the regeneration effect not only to yourself, but almost every type of mob in the game. And it doesn't use any beacons and can be used an unlimited amount of times. The infinite regeneration station uses that mechanic that I discovered during our Twitch streams, and also showed in the Totem of the Undying farm. And this is that witches are now able to throw regeneration potions towards other villagers that are part of the raids, as long as there is a raid occurring. So what I got here is a witch, and we also have a pillager. This could be any type of illager, so it could be like a Voker or Vindicator. It also could be another witch. And then what we also have in this premise is a village. So to make the infinite regen station, you need to have a door which is part of a village. So if we have a door in here, and then we have a block that is on one side of it, so the sky axis is different. This is be considered a village. We also need a villager to be able to detect this village. Now you need to start a raid in the area. So what you want to do is to first kill a patrol captain, and these are the guys that have the banners on their heads. So you can't go up to like a pillager outpost, which this area was here, used to be. So pillager outpost is a good place to find these guys because they naturally spawn in. And just kill the guy with the banner on top of his head. This will give you the bad omen effect. Then all you have to do is come somewhat close to where the village is. So we got our village over here, and this says started a raid. And what's going to occur is just the first wave of the raid. And what we'll do is that you want to get a pillager or some type of illager and a witch. You can also get two witches inside of the boat. So you can do this by capturing one of the guys that are part of the raid. Let's see where the raid occurs. Looks like it happened over there. They're coming over here. This is a good time to grab the guys you need. The first wave won't have a witch in it, so you can go all the way up to wave 4, and then you will get a witch. You want to grab them from the raids themselves. And that might be the easiest way to acquire the witch as well as the pillager, rather than going out and trying to get them, as the game will summon them to you and they'll come directly up into this area. And then what you want to do is you want to capture them inside the boat like we did here, put them in a nice little pen, and what will occur is that the witch will try to always regenerate the pillager, so he'll be constantly throwing regeneration potions back towards him. But when his potion collides with him or any of the blocks above him, it'll create an area effect around it, which also give regeneration to everything else. Now you have an infinite regeneration station. Remember to go ahead and just kill off these raiders, as you don't need them anymore once you acquire the ones you've got. Now hostile mobs will normally despawn, so be sure to go ahead and put name tags on both the pillager as well as the witch. And also be careful what kind of blocks you put over their heads, as here in the snapshots 1.14, blocks that seem like they should not suffocate, such as this glass here. If I go back into creative mode inside of it, you'll see that my screen goes black. This is actually going to suffocate mobs if you stick them inside there. Like if I put a witch, it's actually suffocating. It's currently a bug in the game, so hopefully they'll fix that before the final version of 1.14. Now this regeneration effect can also give to everything that's above here. So I got some friends up here. So I got our dog, which, you know, sometimes dogs can take damage in farms such as like skeleton farms. So if you have a dog killing a bunch of skeletons, skeletons can have a chance of having some armor, and that armor can have some thorns on it, which could eventually kill the dog. But there's actually a lot of farms that you can use dogs in to help the player AFK, since dogs are able to kill mobs and it's considered like a player kill. So you can have a player just AFKing, and then like mobs will come up to the player, hurt the player. As soon as the player takes some damage, the dog will come in and finish the mob off. So you can use this in a lot of different types of farms, such as like a blaze farm, or any farm where something will attack the player, and the dog can turn around and kill that mob for you, and then it'll end up that the loot coming off that mob will be considered a player kill. So like a blaze farm will allow you to get the blaze rods, which normally can only be acquired by the player actually killing the blaze. And with the station, you can keep the player as well as any of his companions always regenerating with the regeneration effect. Now you can use this for almost every type of mob, like I said. So you can also use this for like your types of golems. A lot of times your golems will help attack stuff. Maybe they'll take some damage, so you can have them inside the station where they will be constantly be regenerating. And this is where it comes in very handy, as beacons are unable to heal these guys. They're only able to heal players. Now the regeneration effect will almost work on every single type of mob in Minecraft. The ones that they do not work on is undead mobs. So this is like your zombies as well as your skeletons, which makes it extremely useful for going ahead and regenerate any amounts of hearts that have been lost on some mob. Especially if you're trying to go ahead and collect a lot of different types of mobs in your world, like we're doing here on the Protect server. You can always bring them over to this regeneration station and heal up their hearts if they have taken some damage. And for those who don't know, this is my world with all the different types of sizes for entities as well as block sizes in the game. And if you're curious about this, I'll put the link down in the description. When you load up a world in this latest snapshot, they have, instead of just showing the percentages, they also have this little image of the boxes that are expanding. Kind of funny thing you can do is actually hit the escape button during the process of it loading, and once your game fully loads, it will automatically bring up the escape page, so that if you want to pause the game right at the start, you can do that very easily now. Raids can be made to come in the overworld, and it can also be done in the nether and end dimension. This infinite regeneration station opens up the door so the player can make farms where he takes damage. I did quite a few different types of farms like this in the past, like my silverfish farm, where I had the player actually acquire hunger so he can eat some food and use the food regeneration to heal the player. But for something like this, you don't even need to have the player constantly trying to eat food or trying to keep his hunger low so he's able to eat food. I did a similar thing with a blaze farm as well, having a dog kill them, but then I still had to try to keep the dog healed as well as keeping the player healed from the blazes. But due to a bug to do with dogs, dogs are unable to get a lot of different types of player kills in the current version, which is a really awful bug since a lot of people would use their dogs to try to kill stuff, then dogs would end up not dropping the proper amount of loot. I have made a bug report on this bug, and I would love if all you guys would go down and upvote that bug. I have went ahead and linked it down in the description. It's really nasty, and if they would go ahead and fix it, that would make dogs extremely useful like they used to be in the past. Now, if you're unsure how to upvote a bug report, so you just click on the link in the description, it'll take you to this page, and this is the bug report we're talking about. Mobs killed by dogs give wrong loot tables. And then what you have to do is just make an account so that you can come onto here and give input into the bugs. And then once you have an account, all you have to do is go over here where it says votes, and then you can just click on the vote thing so that you can add votes to it. We currently have almost 250 votes. Let's see if I get up to 500 votes on this bug report, because this is a pretty major one where dogs are not able to give the proper loot. You also can choose to watch it. If you click on the watch, then it'll give you updates. Every time something updates about this bug report, it'll send you an email. Now in this snapshot, there is a bug that we came across to do with our Totem of Undying farm over there. But it seems to be a very general bug to do with Minecraft, and essentially what was happening, it was causing the game to crash, and I went ahead and reported it. It seems like some other people did as well, and this bug is now fixed, so hopefully we'll see in the future we won't have so many problems when working with our Totem of Undying farm. One time we were working on it, and it was crashing about 40 different times just during the build of it. Oh, look at that. The air golem is trying to give this villager over here a poppy. Looks like it's a little bit glitched out. Now, a very common question I get is why can't you just use a regeneration beacon to allow the player to regenerate after some mob hurts him? This works fine as long as the regeneration can keep up with the damage that the mob is doing. But in hard mode, what's going to occur is that the player is going to take hunger after a while, because when the player tries to heal himself, it's actually going to use away his hunger bar. And once it runs out of hunger, he's going to start taking damage in his hearts. Now, the regeneration beacon will be able to regenerate any hearts that are lost from the hunger that the player has. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't heal anything greater than that. So right now I'm just taking damage because my haunches are completely removed, and the regeneration beacon is only being able to constantly regenerate, just barely being able to keep up. But as soon as I take any damage from anything else, just like a cactus here, you'll see that the damage that's done by the cactus is never healed back up from the regeneration beacon. So that's why it's important to have a food source so the player can eat the food, keep his hunger up, that way he's not getting the constant hunger damage, as well as the regeneration beacon, or like the regeneration station. And this nerf to beacons occurred in 1.9 and it has been present ever since. Also, you can see the new graphics of the new effects. Like in the beacon, you got the speed one is these feet here. The jump one looks kind of cool because there's like two arrows on top of each other, like you're double jumping. The other ones look pretty typical. Now, the closer the mob is to where the witch splashed the potion, the higher duration of regeneration the witch will be able to give. So if you stand like right beside the witch, you'll get the highest regeneration. I've had it high as about 45 seconds. The witch tries to throw a potion about every 10 seconds, so long as you get about a 10 seconds delay, you're able to constantly get regenerated. I also have these strange particles that are floating around me, like I'm having regeneration effect, but if you see here, I don't have any regeneration effect. This is just strength that is being hidden. And the regeneration particles just seem to be maybe a glitch, because if I actually go into survival mode, I'm not actually giving me any regeneration. And if I take some damage, you'll see that I'm pretty much not having any regeneration occurring. So it seems like it might be some type of bug, maybe relogger or something. It's just visual. It doesn't show up anywhere. Now, the witches throwing the potions are not very accurate. They can kind of sometimes even miss each other. Here we have two witches in a boat. They're both trying to throw at each other, and sometimes they'll just throw them off in the distance. So to make it most accurate, what I have is completely enclosed. That way they at least hit some wall, and we're not trying to stand back here and hope that the witch hits us. Now, the witches will only go after other mobs that are considered part of their raid, so they won't go after things like zombies. If you want to take time to get two witches, it's probably a little bit better because you have a higher chance of getting potions thrown at you. Even in survival mode, these witches are so busy trying to regenerate each other, they're not even bothering trying to attack me. So I guess you could have some pet witches like this that are completely safe to be around, as these guys don't even seem to bother them in survival mode. an infinite regeneration station using the new 1.14 mechanics. I would like to thank you guys for watching, and if you found this video interesting, hit that like button as well as share this with others. If you'd like to see more neat contraptions like this for the 1.14 Snapshot, be sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button to get notifications. I'd love to hear what you guys think that we could use this regeneration station for, and you can do that by telling me down in the comments. Bye-bye!